Go out to the phone lines as we kick off hour number 2. We'll go out to campus. That is where we'll find Jacques Doucet from WAFB joins us now. Jacques, how are you?
Huh, Jeremy? Doing well. How are you guys?
Very, very well. I know you just chatted with Jay Johnson, just had his weekly Monday media session. Obviously, things feel a little different today than they did last Monday. What's Coach Johnson's demeanor like today?
Pace of play was a big discussion point today. The Braden Joubert play certainly brought up a lot. He feels like the batter in that case should be warned, like the pitcher is warned on the 20-second clock. The umpire who made the call was apparently the same umpire who called the Florida player out on the same thing not long ago. He does feel like they are perhaps compromising some things in the game to make the games shorter, and he said flat out, look, I'd rather win a game in 6 hours than lose one in 2 hours and 20 minutes. So he's not gonna compromise his way of coaching so that a number in the stat box, I think is the way he put it, will look a little cleaner. So tomorrow they're going to play the Wally Pontiff Classic against the Raging Cajuns. Apparently it's the last one according to the flyer. I should have asked Nick Pontiff about that, but I guess maybe after 20 years and with Zephyr Field no longer functioning like it has in the past, maybe it's time to round it off and close it out.
Understood. I know that Jay Johnson gave some injury updates on Gavin Dugas and Alex Milazzo. Can you fill us in there?
Well, he doesn't like talking about injuries because he likes to focus being on the guys on the field. I think he said something along the lines of he exchanged some text messages with Alex on Saturday, and maybe he's coming along. I'd have to go back, hunt, and look at the tape again on Gavin Dugas. I don't know if he addressed that. Did he? I remember him talking about Milazzo, but I know Dugas has been a big question mark for fans, wanting to see him get back in the lineup.
Jacques Doucet from WAFB is our guest. Let's shift things over to football. I know they were out on the practice field, on the Tiger Stadium field on Saturday. Brian Kelly, after the scrimmage, kind of said that the intensity picked up being in Tiger Stadium. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I think so. It was fun to see. Miles Brennan threw the most maligned touchdown pass in the history of LSU football. I feel like the guy throws a great touchdown pass to Jadore Jenkins, and all I hear is, "Man, the ball's underthrown, man." The defensive back fell down, but on a play like that, everyone's jumping up and down. At least the guys on offense, a lot of celebration, a lot of fun with Mason Smith catching a punt, jokingly at the end of practice. So, and from a media perspective, I really appreciate him letting us go in and do something that hasn't happened in since the late '90s. Being able to go watch an entire LSU football practice in Tiger Stadium, letting us watch them scrimmage, shoot a lot of video so we can, preview our stories going into the year. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy out there. And although, obviously we talk about competition at all the positions, I really believe what he says. He just says, look, these guys need to get on board and understand how to practice, what we expect out of them, the expectations and the new expectations of this program. And I think that's what he's still trying to pound into their heads, and I think he's made progress. Organizational health is the term that kind of came out in the Sports Illustrated piece, and he mentioned it again after the workout on Saturday.
You've been in Baton Rouge a while and seen some really, really talented football teams here. Obviously, Coach Kelly giving you guys a lot, deeper glimpse into the team this year. Getting a chance to be around this team and watching them, what do you assess the talent level to be of this team? A really, really talented team, or a team that, probably has a little way to go here?
Well, Jeremy, I mean, no one ever wants to say, "Oh, we're going to go 8-4 this year," right? That might be a realistic expectation. Certainly, I heard about the Vegas line came out last week that has them at 7.6 wins for the projected for the season. Obviously, the Florida State game on Labor Day weekend will be huge for them. They can't afford to lose that one. And Alabama's coming here, but I have question marks about the position you played. I mean, do they have a dependable guy to turn around and hand the ball to? I mean, John Emery, I would have loved to see him make it all the way through the spring without any issues. He's in a walking boot right now. I guess that's no big deal. You talk about Corey Kiner transferring, and Trey Bradford's got a pretty stride to me. I like the way the guy runs the football. I wonder if he can be an impact on the team. And then questions on offensive line. They're ranting and raving about Will Campbell is the real deal, a true freshman stepping in at left tackle, and defensively, Coach Kelly talked about after the workout, we got to learn to tackle. We're not tackling all that well. We're stuck. I think his term was stuck in between the brotherhood. They're learning how to practice and tackle, and they've got to get better there. I think some of the transfers on defense haven't looked all that great, but then you watch a guy like Mason Smith clothesline a running back and bring him down dead in his tracks and realize there's some talent there as well. So, I don't think they're ready to challenge for any kind of championship or anything like that, but if they could somehow grind their way to 9 wins in the regular season and get a 10th win in a bowl game, I think that would be a great start to the Brian Kelly era.
How many quarterbacks do you think are realistically being given a chance to win the starting job?
I would think that it's a two-man race right now between Brennan and Jaden Daniels. Somebody on the staff told me they thought, whatever it means, April 17th, 18th, whatever today is, that maybe Jaden has a slight nod on Brennan at this point. When I watch Brennan, he appears to me to be in control of what he's doing. He's still got the big arm. He gives you a big presence in the pocket to be able to push the ball down the field. But, you can't blame LSU for going out and getting Jaden Daniels. This is Brennan's 6th year. He started 3 games. So you got to go out and get a guy who's played in 30, and that's what Jaden Daniels has done. So I don't know what to make of Jaden Daniels so far. He's very thin. He's tall. He can scramble better than Brennan, and he's got some experience. But I would think those two are the two that are competing for the job. And then Walker Howard is kind of like a first-round draft pick that you're mentoring under the 2 veterans and hoping to get him ready for the following year.
Jacques Doucet from WAFB Channel 9 is our guest here on Hunt and Hill. I'm fascinated by the defensive line and a lot of the guys that have been around for a long time now with Jaquelin Roy, Jacoby and Guillory, BJ Ojolari, Ali Gay, probably not expected to be here but decided to come back and play. What do you make of that group when you see them out there in practice?
Hunt, I had the opportunity to interview pretty much all of the assistant coaches from last year's team who did not come back, and that included Andre Carter, the defensive line coach, and DeAndre Jones there, the defensive coordinator. And both of those guys said, Deontay Jones, that Jaquelin Roy was the guy that they would ride harder than anybody in practice. They were always in his butt because they felt like he had the most potential, but he was too inconsistent. And I think that's a guy right there that they are trying to get consistent play out of on the defensive line. I think he's a big X factor on the defensive line. Savion, the young man from St. James, he won our Dunn Award for the Player of the Year. I think he's another guy that seems to be coming along in that regard. And Ali Gay's an experienced player that you're glad to have back as well. BJ Ojolari in the Texas Bowl was a problem. As bad as that game went, he was a guy that was making plays left and right in that game, and they had to, I think, kind of double team and account for him. So he's got a lot of talent there as well. So, yeah, I like the defensive line. I like what they bring to the table, and look forward to seeing what they do this year.
A guy a lot of people in Baton Rouge are very high on coming into LSU was Cardell Thomas. He was obviously getting some reps with the ones to start out spring. How far along do you think he is, and do you think he can contribute with this offensive line this season?
Well, Cordell's a guy you root for. Certainly, he played at a smaller school, but certainly there's been, your Marcus Spears and whatnot have come out of Southern Lab, Chad Jones, and done very, very well. And so, maybe because he carried such a high star rating that there was a lot of disappointment with him early. I think he started the last several games of last year. Some people looking at the video still wonder if he's not in the right physical shape. Is he in the best shape he can be? Can he drop some weight during the summer? But certainly the guy loves LSU. He's got great parents. He's got a great family, and you hope that he can come around. He's a guy, and then you still see number 61 Cam Wire out there from East Ascension, another local kid who's a veteran on the offensive line that you hope can do some good things for LSU this year. But Cardell, he's a junior, and so certainly it's kind of that time where you start making those next steps in your play.
Thanks so much for watching Hunt Hill on YouTube.
Now do us a favor, hit the red subscribe button below and throw us a like. See you next time.